Hi, welcome back to Black Travel and Culture. I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, here from Bellagio, Italy, with the most stunning views. I'm going to do a whole entire recap of Italy. So let's consider this part one. We covered a lot of ground, and I personally have a lot of information to share about what it was like being a Black woman in Milan, Italy. There's a lot of information out there on both sides, from good experiences to not the best experiences. So, through this series, I'm going to share what I loved about Milan, what I didn't like so much about Milan, and things that I wish I knew before I went. So if you're interested in hearing about this journey, go ahead and turn on your notification bell. Subscribe to Black Travel and Culture, where we celebrate, we inform, and we inspire all of us to travel without judgment. Of course, as always, we'd love for you to like this video. It will help YouTube push it out to more people. And if you have any questions about this specific experience, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and we'll be sure to answer as many as possible, as quick as possible. Now let's get into the trip. Here I am at JFK Airport in New York, headed to the terminal to catch my Delta flight to Milan. This deal was too good to pass up. Round trip direct on Delta was $499.75. That's right, for less than $500 during the off season. This deal was too good to pass up. This flight left at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and arrived in Milan, Italy at 6 a.m. their time. It was an 8-hour flight, and the time difference is 6 hours. Was able to board main cabin 1, which is early boarding. And for international flights, it's always a good thing to make sure, especially if you're not checking luggage, that you have first access to the overhead bins. So I know some people like to board last, so it's totally a preference. I personally, for international flights, like to board first, and usually domestic flights, unless I have first class, I will board towards the end. So here I am headed towards my seat, which is in economy, basic economy, and it wasn't bad at all. As you will be able to see a little, the flight was not full, and so people were able to spread out. And luckily, I was able to have this row to myself. I could have taken actually a center row across from me and laid out, but this was perfectly fine. The gentleman who was originally seated in front of me ended up moving behind me, which was perfect because, as you can see, there wasn't a whole lot of leg room, but it was fine because the next section was about $1,000 more round trip, which didn't make sense just for a couple more inches of leg room. And the whole point of booking this trip last minute was because it was such a good deal. So here we are taking off. I will come back and share some more of the experiences in a second. was extremely smooth, little to no turbulence at all, and here we are arriving in Milan. Now, I will warn that Malpensa Airport is quite a large one, and getting from our arrival gate to customs took about 15 to 20 minutes straight walking at a normal pace. Luckily, the lines to get through custom wasn't that bad because it was so early in the morning. But, and however, if you get there during a busy time, expect to spend more than an hour just to clear customs. The airport is known to be the second busiest airport in northern Italy, so just pack your patience. Going to share day one activities, but coming up in the next video, we'll talk about some of the diversity we found, some of the beautiful sites that we visited. Was there any racism? Did we experience any? What was it like? We did everything from take a cooking class to experience 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes in concert, as well as visit an opera in one of the oldest opera houses in Italy. Also going to take you on a tour of the 3 hotels that I stayed in, which all were different and quite unique. So much more about the cuisine as well as the shopping. Oh my gosh, the shopping experiences were amazing. The architecture was just spectacular. Also, our time in Lake Como. Now you see why this video had to be cut up, because it would have easily been over an hour. So we wanted to make it palatable for anyone and everyone who was interested in learning more about Milan. So back to the arrival. The beauty of this airport is that the subway system is directly connected to it. Through our research, we found it was by far the most simplistic way to travel to and from the airport, so we decided to give it a try. The Malpensa Express takes you directly into Milan Central, which happens to be the largest railway station in Europe by volume. You can connect to the local subways as well as the high-speed trains that take you all around Europe. The price from Malpensa Airport to Milano Central is about $15 US, and it takes about 45 minutes one way. A local train that cost about $2.50 US got us to our final destination, which took about another 25 minutes in total. And let's just say we picked a winner. Remember, I told you the flight arrived about 6 a.m., getting to the hotel just before 10. Well, there were a lot of hours left between our 10 a.m. arrival and our 3 p.m. check-in, but this hotel was so accommodating. By 10:30 a.m., I had the keys to my room. I'm going to share way more about this hotel in the next video because it was truly one of the best that I have ever stayed in. So although I was ready to explore this beautiful city, my body needed a nap. So after perusing the hotel and the room, that's exactly what I did. There was one place that I was eager to see in Milan. So after taking a nap, leaving the hotel, I ventured to that destination. And all in all, Milan is a pretty safe city. It's very dense, so if you stay in well-lit areas, you'll be fine. Decided to take the subway to our next destination and wait for it. One thing I noticed about the subway system in Milan, Italy, is that just like New York City, it stays packed. You can take the train at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. or anywhere in between, and you will not feel alone. And so this is us exiting the subway. And again, I had done a lot of research prior to taking this journey and wanted to experience it myself. And this is the site that I had been waiting to see. Finally made it to the Duomo and the Plaza Duomo, which even on a dreary night, I would say, it was bustling. There were people not just in the plaza, but at the restaurants in and around the area. Just go ahead and take a listen. Stay tuned for part 2.